what is wrong with Aries? If anything at all. I have the answers. Hello stars, welcome to my channel. I'm Lerato and I want to discuss Aries with you guys. Like, why do so many people complain about Aries? How to deal with an Aries? And if you're an Aries, what to do with these frustrating people? Now, if you're excited about this topic, how about you hit that notification button and the bell near it so you can get notified every time I post some astrological knowledge. Now, let's get into it. What is wrong with Aries, number one? Now, you may not be surprised to learn this, but Aries is selfish. But what I really mean is that their self is the ish. So much so that any action taken by Aries is taken from the perspective of self and self alone. Now, is that a bad thing? I don't know. But what I do know is that this quality allows their actions to be unhindered by any outside forces. Like, Aries is not thinking about you when they act. They're not thinking about the environment. They're not even thinking about their partner. They are not thinking past this moment. All they are thinking about is, or they are absolutely focused on achieving what it is that they want, which makes them efficient, which is a good thing. And I don't think that they are intentionally being selfish. I think that they assume that that's what everybody is doing, which stands to reason because you don't see the world as it is. You see it as you are, right? So they assume that everybody's looking for number one because that's what they do. That's what they are doing. Now, is this approach sustainable? Absolutely not. Like, I do not think that the world would get too far if we all acted this way. But it isn't everyone. We have Libra and Pisces and the Virgos of the world to balance that out. But is selfishness still a bad thing? I don't think so. Absolutely. Like, I think it has its place in the world. I think it has its place in the world and our personal development. Because in my opinion, you need to be absolutely focused on something in order to achieve it. In order to achieve something of value to you. So, yeah, but that's initially. So the number two thing wrong with Aries is that they get bored quickly. So talk fast. If you're in a relationship with Aries, this may be the last thing that you ever wanted to hear. Depending on the type of personality you are, maybe not. But this sign will always be pursuing something, right? So if you're a partner who wants to be out there facing challenges and achieving your goals and going out and having a good time with various types of people, then this would be a beautiful bond. But if you're like me, you like to sit home and Netflix and chill and watch movies and eat in, this is spiraling. If you are like this, Aries might actually break up with you. Because they just don't like to beat about the bush. Like, if it's not working for them anymore, they will just straight up break up with you. Another real possibility is that they may cheat on you at the risk of getting caught, right? Because they need that adrenaline injection. And in this case, especially because they won't be getting that from you. Because you want to stay home and Netflix and chill, and they want to be out and about. So they may just cheat on you, get that adrenaline injection, and come back to you. But that's too much of a charade for Aries. So another possibility would be that they could just simply ghost you. They will, just because they don't care to have the conversation, they will just not have it and be out. In fact, if you've ever been burnt by Aries in any of the above ways, please leave a fire emoji down below. I am so curious. I am super curious because I have observed this quite a few times and I'm curious. But please don't get me wrong. Aries is not a dog. If any of these things happen or anything similar happens, is just because it's not a good fit. And I would advise that you gracefully move on. At least you know where you stand with them. most of the time. Now, another way that this may play out is if you have an Aries lover. Now, let me preface this by saying that Aries is very loving and very passionate, given their exaltation. But them being Aries, like, they may just not give you the show before the big game, if you know what I mean. And this is simply because Aries doesn't like to beat around the bush. No pun intended. And I know people for whom this is not that big a deal, but if this is something that would bother you, by all means have a conversation with your Aries, and let them know how to do it right for you, because they may just end up doing it really, really quickly and then moving on to the big game, because that's why they're here. Like, why are we doing all this other stuff? What is this about? You know? So just be really, so just look out for that one. My most favorite part about this aspect of their personality is that their fights end just as quickly as they started, which kind of provides two things for me. I feel like I like to know where I stand with people, so you know exactly how they feel, like they told you, but it doesn't drag on. And my mother's an Aries. I absolutely love this about her. I love it. Now, the number 3 thing wrong with Aries is that they are too independent and too courageous for their own good. You will feel this particularly if you are a parent to a young Aries. Like, you will discover early on that these people won't need you for too long. Like, they will know from very early on who they are and what they want to do, and they won't think about it too long. They won't talk about it too long. They will just do it. Aries' ability to act quickly without overthinking is hands down their best quality. This is where their confidence and courage comes from. Like, they're not sitting there starting and finishing a project in their heads and discovering all the ways that it can fail. I mean, that's paralyzing, right? They honestly just find a starting point and move. Aries will act now and think later. So tip, if you are a parent or a partner to one, find out what they're going for and suggest a plan. But suggest. Never impose. They would hate that. And if they do end up failing or falling, relax. Like, they are motivated to rise and win. So, and more times than not, they do. Number 4 thing wrong with Aries is that they take on too many projects and don't finish them. Like, these people think that they can take on everything, which is insane. Like, that's how much energy they think that they have. And it might seem all well and good to somebody until your mother wakes you up on a Saturday at 6 a.m. and telling you to put everything back into the garage that they took out because they have something else to do. So, as a parent or an employer to an Aries, you might want to keep an eye on this trait. Have them, focus on a few things at a time until finished before they move on to anything further. This will definitely kick up their productivity. It may also have an adverse effect in that it may make them feel restricted. If you're an employer to an Aries, you need to bring them back down to earth and be like, okay, so you can do this and that. And then when you're done, maybe you can move on to other things. They will do that stuff to the best of their ability and move on to other things very, very eagerly. Number 5 thing wrong with Aries is that they keep it all the way 100 all the time. They need to, because these people have absolutely no patience for sugarcoating truths. Like, it serves no purpose, it wastes time, and it doesn't help them achieve their goals any faster. Like, why lie? You know what I mean? I remember in high school I had an Aries in our clique, in our group of friends, and I made a joke once, and she was like, "That's not funny. Jokes are supposed to be funny," you know what I mean? And it stung. But also, like, my mom being an Aries and everything, like, she will ram you with the truth on a consistent basis. And it's not malicious, it's just the truth. In fact, leave a ram emoji down below if you've ever just been knocked by the truth of an Aries. Blindsided, maybe, I think is the word. Just leave a ram emoji down below and let's, form a club. Solidarity, guys, because it hurts sometimes. But I think it hurt the most when I was younger. And now as an adult, like, I like to know where I stand with people, and I love that quality. I also I also think that if you have an Aries for a parent or guardian, you will definitely have the birds and the bees talk much earlier in life. I had mine when I was 9. My mother was not shy about, having that conversation. It was me and my brother, a few cousins, over breakfast. And, she let her rip. She just went for it. And she was saying the craziest things, to the extent that my dad stood up and left the table. So, yeah, they'll tell the truth all the goddamn time, and they will never sugarcoat a thing. And I think sometimes their truths rub people the wrong way, but the truth is they don't need you on their side. They just need you out of their way. So that they can do what they do, which is achieve goals, because they are achievers first and foremost. So I feel like if you feel belittled or hurt by an Aries, just know not to take it personally, because they don't, and they're not being malicious at all. And they don't even mean, it's not even that deep, because they'll tell you and they'll forget about it. And if you want to address the fight later, they'll just not be there for it, or really see it as a big thing, or they may not even remember, the extent to which they shit on you if you feel like they did that. So yeah, I wouldn't take it personally at all. But yeah, it is what it is. All right, so now for the advice, how to deal as Aries. 1, you are perfectly perfect, whether they love it or hate it. You are exactly how you were meant to be at whatever moment in time. 2, your independence, which others may call selfish, is a gift. Encourage it in others. 3, if you find that you do not finish your projects or duties, do one thing at a time. This can be as energetically and as creatively as possible. 4, if stakes are high, take that extra 10 minutes to think before telling someone off or scrapping something to start something else. And 5, now and again, throw in a no offense when you're being super honest. It's always good to have people on your side. I mean, you're trying to make friends, not foes. Now, how to deal with Aries. 1, accept yourself completely. You will find that once you do, accepting others will come much easier. 2, learn from them. If you develop the side to learn from rather than criticize Aries, you will find your relationships much more rewarding. 3, find out their goals and suggest a plan of action. Just suggest. I mean, these people are not planners. And 4, don't take it personally. Their fights are never planned and they never last. So if you are confronted, note it, say your piece, and let it go. It is not personal. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with me. I hope this was helpful. Leave your thoughts below. Let me know what you thought. Be nice and ask me whatever, and I will try to answer. Now, I honor the divine in you, and I hope that you honor the divine in yourself and others.